Welcome back everybody to another episode of Ride 2. I'm KPG-gooner here, and in today's episode we're doing another requested setup on another awesome bike. Now the bike that's been chosen today is the KTM RC8R 2014. Now the person that requested this name is at the top of the screen, so thank you for the request. And they actually asked for another bike as well. They asked for a setup on this one and the R2 category KTM RC8. So we're going to be doing two separate videos for these setups. Today we are concentrating on this one, and I'll tell you what, this is a very awesome bike, very good, and I'm going to really enjoy this setup. So let's get straight into it now guys and check out the stats first. So here we go. Right guys, looking at the performance points guys, this bike has quite a low rating, a bit like the SP1. But don't be fooled, because this bike is very good, and with that awesome 8.9 acceleration, braking power and top speed at 8.6 and handling of 8.5, it does very well guys, and I am looking forward to this. Let's get straight into the race. Right guys, I've chosen a really challenging circuit for this setup, and it's Viking Valley full circuit. Now we're not going to be doing this with any assists, turning off traction control as well. So just remember guys, if you use the assist it will make the setup a little bit more stable, but I like doing it with them off. So let's get straight into this race and test out this setup. Right, so here we go with the racing setup on the RC8R. Now, if you don't use any anti-wheelie, one of the troubles with this bike is trying to pull off without wheeling. So hopefully we can do that. Slowly open the throttle. That wasn't too bad. That's actually pretty good. And I've managed to keep it nice and controlled. And we're around that first corner. We're taking it a little bit wider to avoid any contact. And that's not bad again. So we're up to P3. So that's a good start. Those first couple of corners can be very challenging. And the bike that actually has bombed out into the lead is actually another KTM, which is brilliant. That means you might see a KTM RC8R battle, and that's what I really like to do in this video. So let's see if we can just keep up with that other RC8, try and settle in the race. We've got to try and be a little bit more controlled because we're not using anti-wheelie, so we've got to try and keep that front wheel down, because this bike has got over 200 brake horsepower and it's going to wheelie up really easily. So we've got to be really careful, and I think the AI have it on full, so that's why you don't see a lot of wheelies coming from them. Right, let's just try and keep it nice and controlled through here. The bike in front is starting to pull away, so we've got to just try and keep in touch on this first lap, and then hopefully in the second and third lap we can really settle in and really test this bike out. Now this setup is not perfect, and again just trying to keep that front wheel down. Like I said, it's going to wheelie up quite a lot with that anti-wheelie on, because it, like of the power it has low down is quite extreme. I've actually had the pleasure of riding one of these in real life, and I'll tell you what, they are so fast, it's unreal. Very light as well, and you can chuck them into the corners, and I like the styling as well. They're a very specialised bike. I mean, they're very expensive, but to be fair, they're not the fastest bike on the market, but they are very different to a lot of bikes the way they're set up, and that's why they attract a lot of people. Right, let's just try and hold it into this turn here, coming to the last corner of the first lap, and we're still in touch with the other RC8, but we've absolutely killed the field. That's what I'm talking about guys. These RC8 are very strong in the corners, and it's showing that in this race. Right, let's just try and get a nice tight turn. That's much smoother through there. Now we've got used to the bike and the setup we're using. Now this isn't a finished setup, it's just one I've thrown together in a couple of races that I've done recently, so it's not perfect, but it does feel very stable to me. But like I say, not all these setups are going to be right for everybody, but I'm just trying to give you some tips if I can. Right, let's just try and get a nice turn in there, nice and controlled. The brakes do feel very good on this bike as well, which is another bonus, and I do believe they need a higher rating what they've given. I don't think 8.6 is high enough, because they feel a lot better than that, especially with the handling as well. Very low handling, and I think it feels a lot stronger than that, but there you go. Right, let's get a nice speed through there, just trying to keep it nice and controlled, and we are getting used to this bike now and keeping that front wheel down. Let's try and get a nice tight turn. We want to get a bit closer to the bike in front. We've got to try and get past him, but hopefully before the end of this lap, going into the final lap. But we've just got to stay in touch. We are absolutely flying, and we are absolutely killing the field. Really are just leaving them for dead. They're miles behind. Right, you've got to really try and hold the speed through here. Now, this is a really difficult section here. You just have to back off the throttle there, turn it over, try not to full throttle it through there, because you will lose control or hit the barrier. That is a very difficult turn. And getting nice and tight, we are starting to gain on him. This is where we've got to start thinking we need to get past him. Let's just try and hold the speed into these next couple of turns, going into the final sections of this second lap, and hopefully on the third lap we can really push it. Right, that's nice there. Got a nice drive around that corner, getting his slipstream and really start drawing him in. We've got to get past him here. Right, slow it down. Let's just try and get a nice turn in there. He went really nice and tight there, so we couldn't dive up the inside there. Again, he's holding the lines really tight. Right, this is where we've got to try and overtake him. Right, let's see if we can get past him. Should we go around the outside? I think we're going to have to. He's taking a nice tight line. Let's go around the outside. Oh, God. I thought he was going to knock me off there. He just made a little bit of contact, but I managed just to hold it. And we are in front, but he's sitting right on my back wheel, so I'm going to have to be really careful into these slow corners. And that wasn't bad. Again, look at that, guys, nice and controlled, and I've managed to keep the front wheel down and try and get a nice line through here. This is a very, very difficult section at speed, and again, that was nice and controlled, kept the front wheel down, and we're still holding the lead, and we are starting to pull away from the other RC8, so we are doing really well. Right, again, that's a difficult section. Keep it nice and tight, because you know you've got this really difficult left-hand turn here. Slow it down, try and get that front end turned in, using the front brake. No back brake there, you don't need it on that turn, just use the front brake and get that front end turned in. God dear, power wheelie there, just trying to get really speed up, because we really want to make sure that we've got enough space between us and the RC8 behind us before we go into that last section. Right, really hold the speed through here. Now the AI seems to be really quick through here, so you've got to be really careful that they don't run you off in that section where you've got to try and slow it down here, because they do just run straight into you. No, we had a decent distance between us and the other bike, and we're actually quicker at that split point, so this is our fastest lap of the race as well. Let's try and get a nice tight turn in there, and slowly open the throttle, keep that front wheel down. We've got 2 corners to go, and we're still holding the other RC8 off. Right, get nice and tight there, and drive it to the line. We should be okay. Yes, we are. What an awesome race that was, and we really tested that bike against the other RC8, but they absolutely dominated that race around there. They really are a very good bike for those sort of circuits, and I'm going to really enjoy doing the next one, the R2 category in the endurance races, because they just handle so well. I'm not sure what circuit we do for the other setup, but let's get straight into the setup on this bike. I hope it works for you. And look at the times, guys. We absolutely thrashed him. The third place person was 9 seconds away. But there you go. Right, let's get straight to the setup and see what it is. So here we go. Right, so here we go with the setup. Now, I didn't actually do this setup originally for this circuit. It's one I did a while ago. Now, I went for the spring stiffness on both on 3. That seemed okay. Preload wasn't really low. I left it both on 2. That seemed pretty stable. Compression damping, I went higher at the front. Normally, I'll go higher at the rear, but it felt okay like that. And rebound damping, again, quite low. Both on 2. That seemed pretty balanced, and it felt okay when turning into corners under pressure. But it felt okay. And on the gear ratio, like I said, guys, I didn't play with that. I didn't need to. This bike really does accelerate really well. I mean, you would change the gear ratio for longer circuits, but it's perfect for those sort of circuits. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoy the setup, and I will see you soon for the next one. Bye bye, guys.